Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for your love, your support, blessings. I greatly appreciate all your prayers. We are going through a very interesting time right now, and we have people falling on different sides of the spectrum. I feel like there's just a lot of people who are victims of this regime that crossed over and are now fully activated and fighting on the wrong side right now. I feel like there's a lot of confusion right now in the collective, and a lot of the infiltration is coming in through the elites, okay, and through the partying, through their sex operations, okay, luring them in through their implants, their sex implants, luring them into the other side. And it feels like once you kind of get there, you can't get out. I'm getting a lot of references to Epstein. Epstein was broken out of the Manhattan prison by Bill Barr, okay? And they buried that information in Manhattan. Look, see, they buried it. They buried it. How they bury the information is they essentially, I don't know if they're programming systems. I don't know if it's something connected to the Akashic records. I don't know how, but I saw him underground because I think at that point in time, I was some form of intel. So I saw them take him underground in Manhattan. It felt like it's like around maybe 34th Street area. There was definitely a group around him, I would say. I don't know if it was law enforcement. It might have been cops, FBI, feds. It was at least 10 people I saw around him. Like, it was a group. It's not like, it wasn't like a small amount of people. There was a lot of people involved in this operation. That was during the first fake presidency of Donald Trump, okay? From what I gather with Epstein, he worked on people for long periods of time to be able to, I want to say, get some type of what you would actually call compromat, okay, on someone, which is something that would severely damage their reputation. They work on these people for years. I'm hearing decades. Bill Clinton is one of those people. There is a painting that witnesses have encountered at one of Jeffrey Epstein's properties of Bill Clinton dressed as a woman, okay? They have him dressed up in like a dress. It's a painting. It's one of the first paintings you see when you enter the property. That, in their mind, what they said was an FU to Bill Clinton, okay? Now, there are reports that Bill Clinton was around, I want to say it was like one other person in New Jersey at one of the airports in, was it Little Ferry? I'm not sure if it was Little Ferry. Teterboro. Okay. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, because a lot of the stuff that went around and circulated around the Clintons could also be a whole other propaganda. I personally, in the military portals, in intel, I haven't seen anything with Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein, but I know that there is apparently flight logs, or there is something that is saying that he was there. If this person who's reporting about this painting is accurate around Bill Clinton, and he's wearing a dress in the painting, and he looks like a girl, and that doesn't feel like these are bros, okay? These doesn't feel like this is somebody who's really on Jeffrey Epstein's side, and I'm getting chills on that. So we have to be careful with, I guess, how we are perceiving these logs, and also the money that goes into the right-wing media and really exposing, or creating these narratives that are not exactly as you think. So I have Judgment Day coming in around that with the Devil card. These people are going to be exposed for their crimes and for what they have done. I feel they are. I feel that in my gut. Like, in their system, that's not coming out, but I feel like it's going to come out. Now, I have personally seen Donald Trump presented, okay, in the intel portals. I've seen him presented with a young female who was handcuffed to what looked like a cave. in somebody's basement. It was Jeffrey Epstein's basement. It was a location in his basement. And I saw Donald Trump pee on her, okay? That's what he decided to do. He peed on her. Now, I am surrounded by these people. I feel free. I've been around them for years, okay? Through these military portals, intel portals, hell, I would call it, metaverse, whatever the hell this is, okay? And I have a lot of information on these people. I know Donald Trump better than he knows himself. And then in the same interim, he would probably say the same thing about me. I'm around them just as much as they're around me, but they're the ones that are coming after me. They're the perpetrators. They're the ones. But I have all of the information on them, you know? I've been around Donald Trump for years, okay? I was put in the White House around him. I was put around him on Air Force One. I've been around him for a long freaking time. I did not know at that point in time that I was a form of intelligence, okay? I thought it was psychic dreams, whatever that was. But that's how it came in, okay? I have a lot of intel on a lot of freaking people, okay? And however I fit into this puzzle right now, these messages for some reason have to get out. Jeffrey Epstein, from what I have seen, has been actively working within tunnel systems. I see him in a tunnel system that is connected to some kind of an island. It feels like it bridges up to the US somehow. So I don't know where he is moving, but it feels like he's somehow between Manhattan and some kind of an island, and he's working in some type of a tunnel system. I don't know if this is a portal. Everything's cutting out right now as I'm saying this, because people literally don't know who I am. And it's like the people that do know who I am, they're like covering up who I am because they don't want anyone to recognize me. They don't want anyone to honor me. They don't want anything to go out that is good for me, because they have so many hit monies, contracts that they have put out on me, that they've hidden through military contracts, through companies like Penske, Pennzoil. They put in contracts through other countries. I have someone connected to me that he is my killer, okay? He is out for blood. I'm thinking he might be United Emirates prince. I thought it was a Saudi king that was after me. I don't know what deals Eric Prince has been striking with these people, but it's ugly. You know, it's ugly on every level, okay? There are feds that are on both sides of the coin, okay? There are CIA operations on both sides of the coin. And it's literally like we're in hell. When they were creating this system, it was initially going to be called Intel Wars. And that, I believe, was by design, was to put us, I'm hearing, at odds with each other, okay? And that was the birth of this, was to create chaos, okay? I was getting a lot of monies and operations going into chaos agents, creating chaos agents. A lot of that was already going on during Trump's fake presidency, the first presidency. COVID-19 would be one of those operations. That was a bioweapon. Now, the megas got so obsessed with the vaccine. People got so obsessed with the vaccine, and that, you know, this was going to, be the end of us and blah, blah, blah. People forget that the actual COVID was the bioweapon. And I was one of the first people to say that on my channel. I was the first person to really come out and say, this is a bioweapon. I know it is. And this is why. It was based on my own experience. I was able to put that together. And I've talked about that. But the minute I said that, I got a very threatening email from Florida, from a Florida email address. Now, I believe I was in direct contact with a client that had direct relations to a lieutenant general who was operating command under the Trump presidency. I believe I was in contact with command, okay? I believe that they were trying to take me out in some way, okay? I have the White House coming up. I had direct ties to the White House. I was in the White House. I was around Donald Trump. I was walking, okay? I was walking around the White House with Donald Trump. I was around his children. I've seen his children. I've been in Trump Tower with Don Jr., okay? I have been around them. See, there's a lot of information coming out. there was a lot of confusion because by the time I got over to Joe Biden and his presidency, he did not know who I was. He did not have the intel on me. I stumbled into the freaking Oval Office one day. I ended up seeing him in the Oval Office. I didn't know why I was there. Every time I read on myself, I would get the White House. I'm like, who am I? Why am I in the White House? I don't know why the Six of Cups coming. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know I don't know. I think I might have been the president at that time and I didn't know. It's embarrassing, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's freaking embarrassing. But in the same interim that all that was happening, it's not a coincidence that Joe Biden, he drove right by me. He drove right by me in Oceanside. His whole entourage, they drove right by me. I was coming out of the Home Depot and like I got stopped at the light as Joe Biden rode by me. It's right up the street from me. Probably a block from my house. And I think I was next to Nancy Pelosi on like a car ride from the airport, from San Diego Airport. I think she was in the car with me. I'm not even kidding. I think I was right next to Nancy Pelosi. I don't know who I am. You know, she probably doesn't know it was me. But I've been around Nancy too. I've been around her. I saw things going on with Nancy and Mitch McConnell. I've been around them. So, I don't know. I don't know why this is coming out right now. I'm around all these people all day long, and I don't know why. But, regardless, I don't think that Joe Biden actually, like, knew who I was, okay? And I think it was, like, he was, you know, trying to figure that out at that time. But I was, like, apparently, like, around all, like, the first White House very closely, okay? And so I thought I was maybe connected to the feds, because that's what I was getting. I was connected to the feds, the FBI in Manhattan. Now, by the time 2021 rolled around, that's when I saw Oleg Deripaska shaking hands, which a person who looked very similar to McGonigal. I can never get his name right. And he was already arrested, I want to say in 2023, but I never came up in anything connected to that man. So, I don't know. I'm also realizing the feds operate very differently. It's like the same with the CIA, where you think they're retired and they might not be retired. I don't know if they're really retired. I think they're still carrying out operations underground, because I'm hearing there's CIA that are lifers, okay, and they never leave, and they're the CIA that's connected to the dark stuff, okay? They're connected to like Freddie Mercury and what happened to him, okay? They're connected to a lot of really dark agendas, okay? So there's that group of CIA that's still operating. So there's all these groups that are still operating underground. And I don't know if they're coming in and out of this system or this device all the time, but I feel like there's all these different heads. I told you I have upwards of 90 something systems on my head a day. I had a weapon attack me last night. They tried to kill me while I was sleeping. I woke up by a hit to the head. They hit me 3 times with a weapon. I don't feel like I have the best protections right now, but it's literally, I have holy water coming out. There's also, you know, they have their own black magic groups that are operating by the freaking hour, okay, that are doing death magic and death contracts on humans in the millions. I was getting a lot of that stuff. I read on that with the TIs in one of my recent videos that I uploaded, that I had found the contracts. These are the contracts going out to the masses for their Nazi regime. That's World War III contracts that I'm finding. These are not small contracts. The TIs are part of the first hits, okay? They're the first group. That's Havana syndrome. They're the first group that are being targeted. They're gonna be the most powerful group, okay? I've had to save a lot of people in that group. There are people that we see in the spotlight every day. I'm constantly working to try to save their lives. That's what we're doing right now, okay? And I'm trying to figure out who's behind these hits. Who's behind the murder train? It's connected to the banks. I've gotten a lot of references to Deloitte London. In fact, I've been in Deloitte. I've been in this place. I've been in their freaking corporation. I have been in these facilities, okay? I have been in them. I've also gotten a lot of references to people like Christopher Wray being Russian, which sounds insane. He's from Georgia. So I don't know how he would be Russian. I don't know if he's Russian. When I looked him up, he's not Russian. They're saying he's Russian. I don't know if that's real or not. I've also gotten the same thing around Kash Patel, that these are inbred terrorists. Like, they're not Americans. They might say they were born here. They might not have been born here. I've gotten a lot of messages. I'm getting chills on that. A lot of messages around people who are Russian, that have Irish names, that say a different story about them in Wikipedia. Their information's not correct. These are full terrorists, okay? If you were to put them in there, these are Russian born, but they're put in as, Americans. They're not really Americans. They're working for foreign, I'm hearing, entities, okay? Elon Musk falls into that category. He's not from America. He's not an American. He's a naturalized citizen if he has a citizenship. He is from South Africa, okay? His father was a miner. And that's where the Tesla batteries come from. Quartz, lithium. That is where the batteries come from. He would be someone that somebody, a terrorist, would seek out for these types of attacks, okay, or agendas. Okay, anyone who has researched the car batteries know that they're worse for the planet than even the oil, depending on how they're mining the oil. Now, none of the oil is okay. We are supposed to be already in corn oil. That was the agenda I was working on last year with, I believe, acting President Joe Biden and some other people. I believe I was working with Matt Gaetz on that agenda, on corn oil, on sustainable fuels, okay, and working on affordable converter engines, okay, and working on the land. Now, whoever came in and destroyed that, I don't know. There's supposedly monies that were put aside for that. I don't know where those monies are. And I don't know how to get the information out because Elon has messed with my channel. He has messed with my freaking channel. But we're supposed to be on a completely new agenda right now, a completely new industry that is U.S. only. It is U.S. only until we can get our country back in order again, okay? We can probably sell oil to other countries, obviously, but it's not something where we're going to rely on somebody else for these fuels because we have to become independent right now. So I guess I'm calling this in right now on this video. We have to become independently, I'm hearing, wealthy, okay? We have to rely on ourselves, and cryptocurrency was part of a dark agenda. People who created crypto said if you knew how they created it, you would never go near it. If you knew what it was, you would never go near it. This is a person who worked on that agenda. Okay? It is connected to the DNA hacking. It is connected to the genocide operation. It is connected to all of the darkest dark. Okay? And we don't even need it. We don't need that currency. The only reason they were able to sell this currency is because they said it was an independent currency, independent from the banks. That's not true. There are banks that are investing in this. Banks are involved in this. Corporations are involved in this. This is not an independent currency. And it's just like the stock market, okay? It's just like the stock market. Okay? It does not maintain a value like the dollar does. It is not as strong of a currency as the dollar. It's gambling. My stomach is growling right now. So I think a lot of stuff is still not coming to the light because people like me have not gotten into the light, which is by design because there have been operations to silence and cover up people like me who have been working their asses off to try and figure everything out, most of which has been stolen through biomolecular warfare. Okay, and dark monies coming in from foreign enemies, which is coming in, United Emirates, Dubai. Okay, they're a big threat. That's what was going on in the Red Sea. in the end of 2023. Now they're saying it's Iranian threats, the Houthis. I'm so confused because I thought that was United Emirates. So do United Emirates and Iranian Hamas have a deal together? I'm like really trying to figure this out right now as to what's going on in the Red Sea and why our Navy can't handle 2 ships right now. I can't figure out why our Navy can't handle 2 ships. Can anybody answer that for me? We're supposed to have the most badass military in the world. And the only thing I can think of, I'm hearing privatization. Donald Trump privatized it with his freaking hotelier contacts deals, his real estate deals globally. And those real estate deals and oil deals are all part of the attacks on Palestine and the Gaza Strip. I was at the Gaza Strip before they did those attacks. I was taken there. However, I was taken there. I was there. I talked about it on my channel. Okay? I think I did sense they were going to do something. I felt like they were in danger. I think I did say it on one of my earlier videos. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know I was in Gaza. So these were pre-planned operations. These were military operations. I'm hearing with Egypt. Egypt's coming in. I saw Donald Trump and Putin in Egypt by some type of a sacred Egyptian grave, opening up a grave and doing a very sick alien ritual together. I'm hearing King Solomon's coming up around that. I saw them do a very disgusting ritual, an alien ritual with one of the Egyptian graves, a very sacred grave, the two of them. Okay? It's coming up. That's Egypt. So they're a part of that. They're a part of these deals. They're a part of this. So I think that from what I'm gathering, Epstein's still operating, whether he's an alien or not, or whoever is operating underneath him. There's still operations going on with Epstein Island, okay? There are locations. I've seen these young, what they would call like sex cats, okay, operating. They're still doing their operations, their sex operations. These are military grade operations to infiltrate people like me, okay? And there's all kinds of grossness that's involved in this. Like, they try to get you attached to these people through the heartstrings. I had people come in to my third eye and say, I need you to love me, Amy. I need you to fall in love with me. And they're these guys that I don't know that I would typically be with, but they're good looking guys. Okay. They're good looking and they are, I'm hearing groomed to do this to people like me. They're groomed. They want you to fall in love with them because that's how they get you in. It's through the heartstrings. We witnessed it with Britney Spears. That was her last husband. He was one of them. He was from another country. They bring you in to kill you, to destroy you, to get you closer to them. These are operations. These are real operations. These are deadly operations. I don't know how well-versed our feds are in this type of work. I'm very well-versed. I'm the victim of it. I have a FedEx truck just came in as I'm talking about the feds. So these are big operations. I didn't have interactions like this with just one person. I had interactions with many. If it doesn't work on one man, they'll bring in something. I cut off men very quickly. I don't have tolerance for that. I don't have tolerance for the cheating and all of the grossness. Okay? I don't want them. I don't want to convince a man to love me. I don't want to convince a man that I'm worth like staying true to. That's not my man. That's not my man. That's part of my own spiritual practice I have been through. I've worked on myself for many years to get to that place. And so then they bring in somebody else. And they work on me connecting with them on a soul level to destroy both of us or me. These are operations. And I think Donald Trump's a victim of that. Rupert Murdoch is a victim of that. I believe many people on U.S. soil are victims of these operations. Because he has a Russian bride. Where did he get the Russian bride from? The sex portals. This is from the system. Guaranteed. What, is Rupert Murdoch going back and forth to freaking Russia to freaking date and fall in love with somebody? No, I don't think so. Is he? Where's the flight logs? Where are the flight logs? Because I saw Kavanaugh I don't know if he was in Vienna. I don't know where he was. I thought he was in Switzerland with Putin, walking women like dogs, drunk off his ass. This is before he was the justice. Now, what came up was his drunken past, but it was from his frat days, okay? It wasn't the recent stuff, but that's the stuff they were probably wanting to bring up. I don't know if they had that information or not. Putin had compromise on him. He was Russian asset, full blown. You know who else is Russian asset? George W. Bush. They went to a freaking lobster fest in Maine, Kennebunkport, Maine. In the 90s, I want to say. Was it 90s or was it 2000s? 2000, I don't know what exact year it was. Maybe it was 2000s. I'll have to double check on the lobster fest. I just found that information. They hung out together, him and Putin. I guess they caught lobster together. George W. didn't catch anything. Anyways, I'll leave you guys there. It's all connected. Paul Manafort is directly connected to both presidencies, okay? The fake presidency. And who knows if George W.'s was a real presidency because his dad was CIA, head of CIA. Who knows? Who knows about that? Who knows? That gave him another 8 years to infiltrate our CIA and whatever else they needed to infiltrate. They pulled off 9/11. They got $2.3 trillion out of the Pentagon. They're directly tied to Putin and Donald Trump. Directly. So, I don't know. Anyways, I will leave you guys there. We'd love to hear your feedback on this. Sending you guys so much love and blessings. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.